Have you ever been trapped, not in a place, but in your own mind? You wake up, and before you even touch the floor, thoughts are already screaming, "What if I fail today? What if I'm not good enough? That one text you didn't get a reply to, that one look someone gave you yesterday." It's all playing on repeat, louder, sharper, non-stop. Feels familiar, because your mind, it's not a peaceful garden. It's a war zone, a battlefield, and every thought, every damn emotion, is a bullet flying by your ears. But here's the catch, you're not even holding a weapon. You're not fighting, you're just watching, letting it all happen. And maybe, just maybe, you've started to believe, this is just how life is. This is just how you are. But what if that's a lie? What if you weren't meant to be a bystander in your own mind? What if the chaos inside your head could be trained, tamed, mastered? The Stoics, men who lived thousands of years ago, had no access to TikTok tips or podcasts. But they figured out one thing most of us haven't. The battlefield doesn't have to destroy you. In fact, it can build you, forge you, and turn you into someone unshakable. And I'm not saying this as some motivational, hype-up moment. I'm saying this because I've been there. I've lived days where my thoughts turned me into a prisoner, paralyzed by doubt, anger, overthinking, and I've also seen what happens when you take the reins, when you stop letting emotions drive the car and instead, you take the wheel. You don't have to shut the voices off. You just have to learn which ones to listen to, which ones are real, which ones are lies born from fear, trauma, insecurity. Because let's be honest, how many moments have we ruined, not because of reality, but because of how we reacted to it? The world outside is wild, it always will be, but the war inside, that's yours to win. And in this video, we're not just going to talk about it. We're going to rip it open, dissect it, and find out how to become the general of your own mind. No fluff, no fake positivity, just raw, ancient wisdom, backed by experience, and maybe, just maybe, the breakthrough you've been needing. Let's begin. You ever notice how much of your day is spent arguing with things you can't change? You scroll past a comment that ticks you off. Your boss sends a passive-aggressive email. It starts raining on the one day you didn't bring an umbrella. And suddenly, your whole mood shifts, because reality didn't go your way. But here's a harsh truth. Reality doesn't care. Asterisk. The Stoics figured this out centuries ago. And they boiled it down to something brutally simple. If you can't control it, let it go. At first, that sounds like surrender. But it's not. It's asterisk strategy. Because every second you spend trying to change what's outside your control, you're draining energy from the only battlefield that matters, yourself. You can't stop the rain, but you can choose whether to curse it or dance in it. You can't fix someone's bad attitude, but you can choose not to match it. You can't rewrite yesterday, but you can choose what you'll do today. And I'll be honest, this isn't easy. I used to think that control meant controlling everything. Every outcome, every person, every variable. I'd plan, micromanage, stress over things 5 years into the future. But all that got me? Burnout, anxiety, disappointment, until I realized real control isn't about mastering the world. It's about mastering how you show up in it. Asterisk. And when I started focusing only on what I could control, my breath in chaos, my words in conflict, my mindset in uncertainty, that's when things change. Not the world, me. And sometimes, that's all it takes to win the war. Pain isn't a punishment, it's a teacher. But most of us were never taught how to listen to it. We were taught to avoid it, numb it, run from it, turn on Netflix, scroll TikTok, complain to a friend, anything but face it. But here's the truth I had to learn the hard way. Growth doesn't live in comfort. It hides in the chaos, in the heartbreak, in the failures that feel like they'll swallow you whole. The Stoics saw adversity not as a detour, but as the actual road. Every obstacle, a test. Every setback, a lesson. And the only way out is through. I remember a season in my life when everything collapsed. Job gone, relationship ended, bank account at zero, and I thought, this is it, this is where I break. But instead, that was where I began. Because rock bottom has a funny way of stripping away the noise. The ego, the illusions, and all that's left is you asterisk, bare, raw, real, and that's when the rebuilding starts. Not easy, not pretty, but powerful. Every challenge you face carves something into you. Resilience, discipline, self-awareness, and the more you show up for it, the more unbreakable you become. I don't romanticize pain, but I respect it, because every time I've been knocked down, I've come back with clearer eyes and thicker skin. And now, when life throws punches, I don't ask why me. I ask, what is this shaping me into? That shift in mindset, that's strength, and that's how you win. Asterisk, not by avoiding the fire, but by learning how to walk through it. Discipline doesn't come with applause. It doesn't post on Instagram. It's not sexy. It's waking up when you'd rather sleep in. It's showing up when no one's watching. It's choosing the hard thing when the easy way is screaming your name. People wait for motivation like it's magic, but motivation is a spark. Discipline, that's the firewood. Asterisk, it's what keeps burning long after the excitement dies. I used to think successful people had some secret sauce, some talent, some luck, some boost I didn't get. But the truth, they just kept showing up. Even when it sucked, even when it felt pointless, even when no one clapped. The Stoics knew this. They didn't wait for the mood to do the right thing. They trained their minds like warriors train their bodies, daily, deliberately, with zero excuses. And when I started living like that, everything shifted. I stopped chasing perfect days, and I started stacking real ones. Days where I did the work, even if it was messy, even if I wasn't in the mood. Because every action builds a path in your brain. Do it once, a line. Do it daily, a highway. And that's the trick. Discipline isn't punishment. It's *freedom*, earned. It's choosing long-term strength over short-term comfort. It's building a mind that can't be pushed around by laziness, fear, or chaos. So yeah, it's not glamorous, but it's the closest thing to a real-life superpower I've ever seen. And the best part, it's one you can build, starting today. The world doesn't send a warning. It just hits. One day you're fine. The next, everything's upside down. Job gone. Health shaken. Someone you love walks away. And in that moment, there's no script, no guidebook, just you and the storm. That's where resilience steps in. Not as a shield, but as a mindset. It's not about pretending nothing hurts. It's about hurting and still choosing to move forward. The Stoics didn't deny pain. They didn't become robots. They felt everything, but they refused to let emotions drive the ship. To them, life was like a river, calm today, ruthless tomorrow. You can scream, you can freeze, or you can row. I've been knocked down more times than I care to admit, and every single time, I had two choices: break apart, or rebuild stronger. The first time, I broke, but the second time, I rode. I kept going, even when I was exhausted, bitter, numb, and I realized something most people never do. Resilience isn't born, it's built. It's in the tiny, brutal moments where you show up anyway, where you act with clarity, even while your heart's breaking, where you breathe through the chaos and choose not to drown. Being unshakable doesn't mean life stops throwing punches. It means you stop backing down. And trust me, when you realize you can survive what once destroyed you, that's when the fear fades. That's when power begins. Not the kind that shouts, the kind that stays calm while everything else is burning. The past is a ghost that whispers when you're alone, and the future, a monster you keep feeding with your imagination. That's how most of us live, haunted by what we can't change and terrified of what might go wrong. You lie awake at night, replaying the conversation you should have handled better, regretting the choice you didn't make, rewriting a moment that's already written. Then, without warning, your brain jumps forward. What if I mess up tomorrow? What if I lose everything? What if I'm not enough? It's a loop, and if you're not careful, it becomes your life. The Stoics weren't superhuman. They had emotions, just like us, but they refused to live as prisoners of time. They said, the past is ashes. The future is fog. The only thing real is now. And in that now, you have a choice. To breathe, to act, to lead your mind instead of letting it drag you. I've spent years stuck in both timelines. Crushed by guilt I couldn't fix. Paralyzed by fear I couldn't prove. And I'll be honest, it's addictive. There's a strange comfort in reliving old wounds, a sick satisfaction in bracing for impact that may never come. But none of it helped me. None of it changed anything. The only moments that ever did were the ones where I was present, fully aware, fully alive, not numbing, not running, just here. Because this breath, this moment, it's the only place you'll ever have real power. not to undo, not to predict, but to choose, to decide how you'll speak, how you'll think, how you'll live, right now. And the irony, when you stop fearing the future, you shape it better. When you stop clinging to the past, you finally learn from it. But when you're stuck in either, you're missing life altogether. So when your mind starts spiraling, pause, feel the ground, notice the breath, and ask yourself, what can I do right now that matters? Because this moment is your weapon. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, now, asterisk. And once you learn to fight from the present, you stop being a victim of time. You become the master of it. You can scream at the storm, but it won't change its path. You can curse the wind, but it won't blow differently. The world doesn't bend to our emotions, and yet, we waste so much of our life trying to bend it. That's the war most people are fighting every day. Not against other people, not against bad luck, but against reality itself. You're stuck in traffic, seething with anger, as if rage will make the cars move faster. Your boss lashes out unfairly, and you stew over it for hours, hoping somehow your resentment will rewrite the moment. Life throws something heavy at you, an illness, a loss, a failure, and your mind rebels. This shouldn't be happening. But it is, and no amount of denial changes that. The Stoics understood this. They didn't say, love everything. They said, see everything clearly. Because peace doesn't begin with control. It begins with clarity. I've fought reality more times than I can count. I've told myself this isn't fair. This shouldn't happen. This needs to change now. And every time, all I found was exhaustion, bitterness, a sense of drowning, until one day, I stopped, not because I gave up, but because I finally saw it. Acceptance isn't surrender, it's strategy. Asterisk. When I accepted that traffic wouldn't move, I found space to breathe. When I accepted that people are flawed, I stopped expecting perfection and started practicing grace. When I accepted my failures, I stopped hiding from them and learned. Acceptance is not the end. It's the beginning of power, the beginning of wisdom, the beginning of finally responding instead of reacting. The world will never be what you expect. But that's not a tragedy. That's a gift, because when you stop trying to twist life into your version of how it should be, you start seeing the beauty of what is. And from that clarity, you can act, not with anger, but with strength, not with resistance, but with purpose. So the next time life comes at you sideways, try this. Don't fight it. Face it. Feel it. And then ask, what can I do with this truth right now? Because reality is the only place peace can live. And the moment you stop arguing with it, you stop suffering, and you start living. You wouldn't skip the gym for a month and expect your body to stay strong. You wouldn't eat junk every day and hope to feel energized. So why do we treat the mind like it's supposed to just hold up on its own? You wake up, instantly flooded with thoughts. Most of them negative, most of them not even yours. The news, the noise, the pressure, the expectations, it all piles on. and without even realizing it, you're running a mental marathon, on no training at all. The Stoics didn't have dumbbells or protein shakes, but they trained their minds harder than most people train their bodies today. Journaling, reflection, stillness, these weren't hobbies. They were daily discipline, mental reps, because they knew a strong mind is your first line of defense when life falls apart. And I've seen it firsthand. There were times when my body felt fine, but my mind was wrecked, anxious, drifting, out of control. I was reading books, hitting deadlines, making money. On the outside, it looked great, but inside, it was chaos, because I was feeding my brain trash, scrolling endlessly, absorbing fear, drowning in comparison. No journaling, no silence, no reflection, just mental noise, on repeat. It wasn't until I started training my mind like I did my body that things changed. I carved out space every morning to sit, to breathe, to write down what was really going on in my head. Not to judge it, but to face it. And slowly, I stopped reacting to every thought like it was truth. I started observing, challenging, choosing. Now, when a storm hits, I don't panic, I pause, because my mind has been here before. It's trained, it's steady. So yeah, lift your weights, eat your greens, but also, sit in silence. Write your chaos, watch your thoughts without grabbing onto them. Because a strong body will carry you up the mountain. But a strong mind, it'll carry you through the storm. Peace doesn't just arrive one morning like a package on your doorstep. It's not found at the end of a vacation, or buried in a self-help book. Peace is something you build, brick by brick, with your daily choices, and the foundation, it's virtue. The Stoics had no interest in chasing fleeting happiness. They weren't trying to feel good all the time. They were trying to be good, even when it was hard. Especially when it was hard. Because peace isn't the absence of noise, it's the presence of integrity. It's knowing that even when everything around you is chaotic, you are anchored, rooted in something deeper than emotion, wiser than impulse. Virtue isn't flashy, it doesn't trend, but it's the kind of strength that lasts. Wisdom means asking, is this worth my energy? Before reacting. It means zooming out when your mind wants to zoom in. It's the ability to see the bigger picture when everyone else is lost in the moment. Justice means treating people right, even when they don't deserve it. Not because they've earned your kindness, but because you've earned your character. You don't need applause for being decent. You need a mirror you can face. Courage isn't about not feeling fear. It's about moving forward with fear. It's standing tall when your voice shakes, when your knees tremble, when everything in you says turn back, and you choose to go anyway. And self-control, that's the quiet power, the one nobody sees. It's saying no when yes is tempting. It's keeping your word when nobody's watching. It's walking away from what feels good now, to protect what matters long term. I used to think peace would come when everything outside of me finally calmed down. But I was wrong. Real peace showed up when I stopped breaking my own values just to avoid discomfort. When I stopped pretending and started aligning. You don't find peace by escaping life. You find it by engaging with life, with clarity, with courage, with character, because the storm isn't what steals your peace. It's how you face it that determines whether you break or rise. So if you want peace, don't chase comfort, chase virtue, and peace will come. Asterisk not as a gift, but as a asterisk result. You can read every book, highlight every quote, write down every insight like it's gospel. But if it all just sits in your head, what changes? Nothing. Asterisk. Reflection without action is like staring at a map and never taking a step. You know the direction, but you stay stuck in the same place. And eventually, even wisdom rots when it's not used. The Stoics didn't reflect so they could feel smart. They reflected so they could act asterisk better. They didn't spend all day journaling their thoughts just to feel deep. They did it to sharpen their decisions. But here's the trap. Thinking feels like progress. You sit there imagining the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect version of yourself. Meanwhile, life is passing you by, and all those great thoughts, they stay locked in the attic of your mind, gathering dust. I used to get stuck there. I'd journal every morning, write intentions, visualize, but by afternoon, nothing had changed, because I hadn't moved. Then I realized, clarity isn't found in thinking, it's found in doing. Asterisk. You want to master your mind? Move your body, take action, do something. Anything asterisk that aligns with what you say matters. Want confidence? Keep a promise to yourself today. Want clarity? Take one uncomfortable step forward and watch the fog clear. Want strength? Show up consistently, not just when you feel like it. Thinking is the spark, but action is the flame. And the fire doesn't burn without both. Every great mindset is built on repetition. Tiny habits, daily courage, that 5-minute task you keep avoiding, that hard conversation you need to have, that project you've overplanned into oblivion. It only becomes real the moment you begin. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect mood. Use what you know. Apply what you've learned. Asterisk. And let the doing teach you more than thinking ever could. Because in the end, the mind is only as powerful as the hands that follow its wisdom. And every small action you take, it chips away at the doubt. It builds momentum, and it becomes the proof that you're no longer just thinking about change. You're living it. Asterisk. Failure. The word alone can make your stomach drop. But what if we've been seeing it wrong this whole time? You trip, you fall, you mess up, and your mind goes into overdrive. I'm not good enough. I knew I'd fail. Why did I even try? But here's the truth the Stoics knew. Failure isn't a wall. It's a doorway. Asterisk. It's the universe handing you a red marker and saying, here's where you missed, now fix it. It's feedback, pure, raw, unfiltered information designed to sharpen you. not stop you. You want to grow, embrace the fall, analyze it, learn from it, then stand up and move again. That's not losing. That's evolving. That's the mindset that never stays down. That's how you become unstoppable. But failure alone isn't the enemy. Sometimes, the real war is emotional. You feel rage, shame, fear, and you believe those feelings are you. But they're not. They're waves. And you're the surfer. Asterisk. You don't drown by feeling anger. You drown by becoming it. The Stoics never said don't feel. They said don't be ruled by what you feel. Take a breath. Take a step back. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? And then choose your response. You are not a puppet. You are not weak. You are the captain of this ship, and your emotions, they're just the weather. So what now? You've heard the ideas. You've felt the shift. But none of this matters if it just stays in your head. The battle ahead isn't out there. It's asterisk in here, asterisk. In your thoughts, your habits, your responses, and every single day, you get to decide, will I drift, or will I direct? You don't need to control the world. You just need to control you. And that's more than enough to change everything. So the next time the storm hits, and it will hit, pause, breathe, remember what you've learned, remember who you are, and say it with me, loud, clear, and unshakable. I will master my mind, and nothing will stop me. Asterisk. Now go, live it, every single day.